Hello and welcome to Amaro's Intuitive Studio. Based on how you're feeling right now and what you want to dig into, I have a full video that teaches us a little bit more about what Gemini is all about, so feel free to dig into that as well. Stack 1 is going to be where you lost yourself in the past. Stack number 2 is your current path. And stack number 3 is your potential. I'm going to take you on a journey to honor the energy of Gemini. And so what you're going to do here is choose the adventure that you want to go on. Before we get into our first advice, let's take a little peek into what each of these paths is going to be about. Path number 1, where we lost ourselves, is going to have to do with transformation. So it's probably some lesson or journey that we needed to go down in order to really find ourselves. Stack number 2 is going to tell us what path we're on right now. And this is where we have choices. This is going to be dynamic, spontaneous, confident, okay, maybe impulsive. It depends on how you feel right now, but this is where you have choices, okay? And stack number 3 is our potential, and this is your achievements and status in the outside world. So based on how you're feeling today and where you want to focus, choose path number 1, where you lost yourself. Path number 2, where we are right now, maybe confident or maybe impulsive. And path number 3, what we're going to do with all that. If you want to watch it all the way through, please do and see how it all weaves together. Here's our very first advice, and right after this, you're going to click your chosen stack. The need for control of the energies to meet the challenge of your destiny. An obsession with your desires regarding where you're going. A power struggle resulting from the honesty and strength of your career. So however that resonates with you, now it's time to move forward and choose your adventure. This is about transformation and the struggles that we've had in our past, and this is meant to teach us something, okay? So if that's what you're looking for, you're looking to kind of go into your past where things have kind of gone off the rails so you can change your patterns, you are in the right place. We have Pluto again. We're talking about transformation, control, obsession. There's a power struggle that's taken place in the past that's taken something from us. Karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. That's amazing. That's pretty wild. Talking about lessons, karmic relationships is right on point with that. The constellation Orion is thought by many to have been a place of great polarity and eventual unity. Some believe that many starseeds who are part of this cosmic history are incarnate on Earth now and are playing out karmic relationships. Perhaps you're one of them. Okay, so how can you soften your heart and drop your defenses enough to see from a different point of view? How can you see the innocence of all involved in this so you can see the innocence in yourself? And how can you learn to see the similarities in others and the way that we all make mistakes? You have to remember, and you're lying to yourself if you don't admit this, that we are all the villain in someone's story. We've all been the jerk at some point or other, and we have to be willing to admit that the relationships that we find most challenging are here to teach us something, whether they continue on or not in our lives, or depend on are those relationships going to honor us and our boundaries? Are they going to grow with us? But how can we honor the challenges that we have experienced, decide what we want more of, what we want less of, and move forward from a space of power rather than a space of lack? Okay, now the next card up from our pile is the Empress. This is actually one of my very favorite cards, and this represents Taurus. We just talked about this a little bit. But what we're doing here is blossoming into this. This is a divine path. And I don't mean to diminish anything, because challenge is challenge, okay? What is done to us that we have no control over whatsoever, I'm not saying that that is for our good, okay? I'm not diminishing the pain or the harm that's been done. But what I'm saying is, no matter what's happened, we all have a path that we have to choose what we're going to do going forward. Do we heal? What do we plant? What do we create with what we've been given? Because we've all been given a handful, right, of something, and it's a mixed bag, and some people do have it a little bit easier than others, and we have to admit that some people do walk through this life with a little bit more handed to them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that person is happy or satisfied. So that's something to really consider, that we all have choices. We all have options, okay? And it's not always clear until we, plant a few seeds, harvest a few bad crops, okay? I know I'm getting a little ridiculous with the the planting or into summer. We're talking about what seeds we have sown in the season before. And what those are for now are for our benefit. We can utilize all of this for our benefit. And just because we were unfortunate to experience something, it doesn't mean that we can't find connection. Like, consider the connection you find with other people who have experienced similar things. Consider how, when you choose a healing path for yourself, how you can grow and help to educate and teach other people, okay? That you can encourage other people to grow and step into a very difficult path. That you can light the way for other people, even if you think you're nobody. You absolutely can. So don't ever discount yourself. Okay, just because you've been harmed or diminished before does not mean you don't get to take the pieces of yourself back and come back stronger than you ever were before or ever imagined yourself could ever be. Okay, I am the light of my soul. This is guidance to become more discerning with who you believe and what you believe. Be mindful not to place too much value on the opinions of others or the voice of self-doubt. Okay? Where there have been lies and illusions brought to you, you were told something about life or about yourself, know that the subtle yearnings inside of you for what you want to create are what's true, okay? If you are afraid, you do not fulfill your potential, okay? And all I'm talking about is being afraid of what's within you, who you truly are, what's at the center of you. When you take away what others have planted and you find who you truly are, like, I know it's scary. We're all afraid to go on that journey because the roughest stuff that we have to face is kind of I don't want to say it's at the top, but we have to face some really ugly ego truths, at the very beginning. And it doesn't sting as much later on once you kind of tune into yourself and you feel into who you truly are. But we're talking about what we lost before was maybe building. We built on something that was not stable, or we thought we were building something that we wanted when it did not end up being what we thought it was. But what it's meant for is our transformation, okay? This is meant to bring us out of like a diminished view of ourselves, out of the relationships and the experiences that make us small and require that we always be small and continue to be small to please that particular energy. We are not meant to be. Okay, so let's finish up. This is where we had lost our power or lost ourselves. And this is the advice that I want to give you for that particular experience as you dig into this, and whatever this means to you, What relationships are these to you? Okay, and how did they impact you? And what sort of healing do you need to do? And what choices have you given away? You've given up thinking you had choices, and you absolutely do. And that is to see yourself as you truly are and plant your foundation on something that is lasting. And here's your advice. My own energy. I love being there for friends and family while staying true to myself. I don't let others' energy or mood affect my own. To help a friend in a hole, I don't need to jump in the hole with them. Simply reach out a hand, and it is up to them to do the rest. Okay, these relationships, all you have to do is tune into who you are. Start to create some boundaries based on what you want to create for your life, in your relationships. Maybe you're still in these relationships, or maybe you're not. Maybe you've learned this already. Maybe you need to dig into this further. Maybe this is affirmation of what you have walked through. Now make sure you tune in to the very last chapter to get your final advice. And if you want to continue to see how this all comes together, go ahead and watch stack number 2. Thank you so much for being here. Number 2, we're here to talk about our current path. If you missed the where we lost our power and you meant to revisit that, that is what we just talked about here. Transformation and the opportunities that we have. Now we're going to talk about our current path. On our current path, we may have to take action, and we may have to either walk, with our chin up, or maybe this is representing choices that we are currently making that we don't like, or we're gonna have to see how this unfolds. All right, so the very top of this energy is the kind of overarching energy, the golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. So this is where we're focused right now on our current path. Golden children, or children of the sun, are highly advanced, extremely intelligent souls who are incarnating increasingly on this planet. They have little or no personal karma and possess incredible gifts and intuitive abilities. And if you did not watch this, we just spoke of karmic relationships. So very interesting. Maybe something that we've healed, something we've worked through, our energy imbalances and these cycles and patterns that we spoke about here in stack number 1. You may be called to tend your own inner child, a creative idea or project, or a new beginning. To treat yourself or the new beginning with sweet, tender love, to nurture and nourish it, and to give it every chance to grow and reach adulthood. Encourage it, water it, and see it through the innocence of a child. See yourself and all others as innocent children. Remember that deep down, everyone is trying their best. Brene Brown even said so. And if they're treated with a tender heart, they'll not harden as they journey through this great adventure called life. And there we are, choosing our adventure. Oops, our next card out is the moon. And I think we've really been talking a lot about moon rituals and looking at the moon, because the moon has so much to do with our inner world and our inner emotions, those triggers or just automatic reactions that we have to things. But the moon also gives us opportunities to illuminate, okay, and focus on different things that are going on inside of us, or at least that's what we're kind of called to do, because you think of the moon illuminates things that are normally in the shadows. That's what a full moon would do. So the more you focus on your own rhythms and cycles and healing that on a deep level, the more you can really tune in to why we make the choices that we make, okay? I don't know, maybe you have healed this within yourself, or maybe that's what you're being called to do right now. You may be called to balance and see what's going on. Play with the energy back and forth, the duality of it. What's you? What's inside of you? And what's the world? What's the divinity, the divine being inside of you? What you were brought on, or you chose to come to this earth, however you like to see it, to come to this earth to do. Why are you here? And honor that. No matter what anyone else has ever tried to take away from you, this is about what you want. Honesty and strength, confidence in yourself, and doing what you desire. And a way to honor that could be through the throat chakra, which is very, very Gemini, okay? Mercury is a representation, or the planet that rules Gemini. It's kind of an energy, and it's talking about communication, knowledge, okay? So something that we can do is clear our bodies with sound, whether that's music. You could hum, you could, sit next to a loud fan, you can play your headphones, or you could physically make the sound yourself, but clear that out of your body, because you know what it feels like to be up like by a speaker, where you feel that pulsating sound in your own body. You can feel it moving through you. Be aware of that. Be aware of the power of that. It can clear energy that you never even knew needed to be cleared just by singing. You can sing loud. You feel it pulsating through your body, and you can purge yourself from the toxicity of stress. Soak yourself in love and set intentions for a cosmic energy of prosperity, a beautiful experience, a higher octave, the unified field, a light, okay, language of love, and the vibration you filter your life through. That's what we're talking about. What vibration do you filter your life through? I sure hope. Right? Because we can go on as long as we want without actually experiencing this, and we can be in whatever mode we want, rightfully so. Many of us have been wronged terribly, but ultimately the path is our own, and the healing journey requires that we love ourselves. We are no longer diminished by what we have been taught about ourselves. We are true to ourselves now. I acknowledge all the little things I am grateful for. No matter what I have going on, I always have things to be thankful for. Whenever I am feeling upset, I can fill up a page with things I appreciate. And this begins to shift my mood and focus onto that which brings me joy. What are you focused on? And rather than even what are you focused on, what is the lens? Okay? What does your intuition tell you about this experience, and what you need to do to heal it? Where do you need to anchor yourself in? Okay, we also spoke of foundation here, so it's very, very important. This is about roots. This is about what we're planting ourselves in. Sink your roots deep, connect them to the heart of the earth, and more importantly, the heart of yourself. Please remember to tune into the very last chapter to get your final advice. Next, we're going to move on to our potential. Thank you so much for being here. And welcome to your potential. So in case you missed it, we already revisited this transformation. We spoke about our current path, and now we're going to dig into our potential. The overarching theme is going to be talking about what we're achieving. So what is it that we're achieving? Because what we discovered in the first two here is that it matters very, very much the lens with which we see that and the lessons that we've learned. Healing from within is very much going to decide how satisfied we are with what we're experiencing. So our very first card, the Courageous Peony. Multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself Right? What is our potential? Flowers don't open and close according to who walks by. They embrace all of what they are and show it to the world around them. The peony doesn't try to compete with the cherry blossom, and the cherry blossom doesn't try to compete with the tulip. They own what they are and trust the timing of their true nature. You are being called to do the same. You may have been taught that it is safer to keep your light hidden and your voice small, to hide behind the bushes instead of growing tall. And the courageous peony is here to remind you that it is safe to embody all of who you truly are. It is safe to share your voice and let yourself be seen. And that is exactly what we spoke of here. Your experiences are what you're going to teach, you're going to share, and you're going to empower other people to heal as well. Just how you have walked this path, your confidence and your courage, you're going to inspire others to do the same, which may feel uncomfortable at first, and you may be afraid of what others think, but with each passing day, it will become easier. Little by little, you realize that it draws in those who are meant for you. The experiences you've been longing for arrive at your feet. Our next card up, the Fool. And this is again divinely inspired, and I want to point out that each of these had a major arcana card, which is a divine purpose. It's an energy of support from the universe. It's what's meant to be happening for you, and you have the choices to play that out however you like. And that's the thing that you have to understand. You can see this path however you want. The lessons are going to be there regardless, but the length of time that you play around in that mess, the really ugly part of healing, the length of time that you play around in that is going to really depend on your willingness to be self-responsible, to sit with discomfort. And it is a lifelong process and experience, but you have so much energy at your back to plant something that is truly satisfying. And this is a clean slate and just a fresh start. You get to plant whatever you want here, and that's what you're being shown, that you have the opportunities and you get to choose. Okay, you get to choose whatever you want here. And this honors the Gemini spirit, because this is not intuitive, but like based on wisdom, intelligence. Okay, this is based on the experience. You have a quick mind, and you have clarity about what you want because of the experience that you've had. You're ready to make the choices, to make the moves you need to make. And it's not confusing anymore. You know what needs to be done. And what needs to be done is really connecting with yourself. It's only about connecting with you. You can bring whatever relationships and, purpose. You can volunteer, you can give your time and your energy to whatever you want, but if you have not connected inside of you for this real experience, so you can understand what's satisfying to you, what would even satisfy you truly, what can you sustain, what would you like, what path do you want to go down long term, and is it the one you're on right now? Sometimes it's not, and that's a very uncomfortable realization. That's not what we want in the future. We don't want to find ourselves there. We want to find ourselves there on the current path, okay? And that's really what we talked about. We have so much opportunity to make choices on the current path from the lessons we learned in the past. And here we are at our potential. And we want to have planted the things that feel best, okay? We are becoming increasingly aware of our own vastness. Okay, air energy fills up a room, and that is Gemini. As you continue to realize your human sovereignty, freedom, you will kiss duality goodbye. And we spoke of duality already in this reading. I'm not going to give away where it is. You have to go find it now. And revel in your ability to connect with everything. And that's what we're learning here. It's the balance, the push and pull. What's me and what's the world? What's the divine spirit and who I truly am and what have others impressed upon me? And that becomes more and more and more clear with experience. As we open our hearts, you will begin to relate beautifully to the spirit in everything, and you will comprehend what you already know, the language, okay, Gemini, language of the mountains, language of the birds, language of the flowers, language of everything. You will intimately connect with others and dance lightly in your life. Oh, I love that so much. Dance lightly in your life. You will feel your heart expand. You will understand that you do not really need much, yet you will also desire to experience more and more. This is a natural creative state. The healing connections you are ready to open up to will be partnered with interdependency and non-attachment to outcome. So you're going to be more drawn to people who feel nice to be around. Are you going to honor that? Or are you going to ignore that and continue to kind of pay attention to the things that are trying to get to you, manipulate you, because they want your attention and your energy? It's always up to you. I surround myself with people I love and enjoy my time with them, but I also take time to nurture my relationship with myself. I have found a healthy balance between being with friends and having self-care time. What is you and what is them? What do you truly want to do? If you are in your time with your best friends, okay, what would you want to do? And do your friends want to do that? And do they make it a pain if you want to do your thing? If you're not in the mood to do that thing, can your friends just chill with you? You know, does it have to be an event? It's all up to you, okay? You have to decide how you experience all of this, and you get to choose whatever you want. Just realize that your potential, what you're planting, is your creation, and you have all that power. The world is abundant when you choose to see it that way. Okay, abundant with delight when we give ourselves the sovereignty to be exactly who we are. Next up is our final advice. Thank you so much. Be sure to check out the complete Gemini energy video, beginner's guide to the Zodiac. Thank you so much for being here to honor this Gemini energy. I'd be really curious which path that you chose and what you felt and what you thought of that. If you enjoyed this, I would be honored that you share it with your friends. So here is our final advice for Gemini energy. Resurrect your willpower responsibly. Get to the heart of what you think you know about success. Do or die. You must do it your own way and become a person of power and status. I appreciate you so much supporting my work by dropping a coffee in my tip jar, clicking down below to purchase any of the tools and decks that we use in this video, or stopping by Amaro's Intuitive Studio for a private consultation. Thank you so much. Cheers to us in the season ahead.